Okay, what is going on, everyone? How's everyone
Uh,
doing?
I see some people in the chat.
Alright, basically just gonna get right into it. Because we're gonna be uploading this as well to YouTube and all of
Mhm.
that. So, alright, let's get started. We live, brother. I appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy. So, dive into it, Reese. Just tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like, where do you come from? What do you do?
Okay, I'm from Wales, UK, and I'm an apparel illustrator. Mostly, so I focus on. Uh, do a little bit of social media work here and then, not really, but I mostly focus on with clothing lines.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And I've seen some of your work, obviously, and we've been talking for a while. So
Hmm.
if you guys don't already, we're going to get into it later. He can share all of his links and whatnot, so you guys can go check him out. But he does some really good work. So, next
Thank you.
question is going to be, how long have you been designing?
Oh, so I've been illustrating for probably 2 years, but designing since maybe 2013.
Okay. So, quite a while.
Yeah, I did 2013. A lot of I did a little bit of website design and a lot of social media work until probably
Absolutely.
2016. And then stopped for a while, and then I came back doing illustration. And that's what I've been
Good.
doing since.
It was a good move.
Yeah, definitely enjoy it more.
Alright, next question. What are your yearly goals for this year, specifically for designing?
Goal this year, goal this year is to further my design career. Really, I want to get into work with a bigger clothing line more closely.
Okay.
Work on a few jobs, do that, and maybe work with some reputable organisation of some sort. I got offered a position in Fnatic a few weeks back,
Okay.
so I mean I'm going in the right direction there.
Yeah, definitely, I'd say so. Can you speak publicly about the offer? Like, is that something you're looking to, like, you're
Um,
interested in doing?
I, I think I can. I was really interested in doing it, but it just came at the wrong time. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
I've just moved into my own apartment, and within like 2 days of me moved, they want me to move to London to work in office with their team.
Wow.
It's just unfortunately not doable.
Yeah, it's
But
understandable, though.
great offer though. It's moving up though. It's all good.
Absolutely. So, next, what are your favorite projects to work on?
Um, my favorite projects is when clothing line wants me to do a small drop just by myself, so I can coordinate a theme much more efficiently that way instead of working with like with a team.
Yeah,
So that's definitely my favorite. I prefer working with smaller clothing lines than I do for like more medium-sized ones. It's just the owners are usually a lot more enthusiastic
yeah,
and like to be in contact with you a lot more instead of just leaving you to it,
yeah,
which a lot of artists like by like trying to be in touch with the owners as much as possible so they can
definitely.
do something they love.
All right. Now, so your most, like, common designs you're doing all the time are illustrations, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so walk us through your design process. Where do you start, and then what do you do?
My I start by doing a lot of research on what on either my idea or what I've been commissioned for. Because a lot of my designs I just do in my spare time and then I sell them as pre-made. That's where I probably make more money, to be honest.
All right,
Um,
that's good.
so I do research on the idea I have, um, and I either go and take pictures myself, or I find some pictures. For example, if it includes the sea or the tree, something like that, I'll go and take pictures, and then use those as like direct references to start my sketch process, and then I'll turn that to illustration, and then I put on the range of mock-ups from like t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, anything like that, and see what it works with.
Absolutely. That's very organized. I like that.
Thank you, man.
All right. Next, what's your go-to platform for whether it's for marketing, just hanging out, anything like example Twitter, Instagram, anything like that?
Uh, Twitter's my favorite.
Twitter. Okay.
Twitter's definitely my favorite. I've been trying to use Instagram over the last like this year. I started using it,
Okay.
and it's going pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But
I've seen your Instagram.
yeah, I like Instagram because there's no it's just your work.
Yeah.
I like so it's nice to you can go onto Instagram and you can see all of it. You don't have to like keep scrolling through, and it's but I just prefer I like Twitter. I like the Twitter. You communicate a lot more. There's a lot more interaction on Twitter than on Instagram.
Yeah, I agree. Next, this is a question I'm going to be asking. I'm pretty sure every designer. I'm not sure if I'll mix up the questions for future people, but do you think college is necessary for graphic design going into a career of it?
It's I don't think it's necessary. I personally I'm doing it. That's because if even if like you can definitely get a good job straight from like high school, secondary school.
Agreed.
If as long as you build up a good portfolio, you can definitely go straight into a job.
Absolutely.
But I just want the safety net of a qualification behind my back. Even if I did get in a job, if I lose that job, it doesn't mean that experience will be enough to get me a new one. I
That's
might,
true.
I just want to have the qualification behind me, just to kind of propel me forward if need be. And then often with qualifications, just having the qualification means you'll get paid more in a lot of cases.
Okay.
Although not really, it's starting to not really turn like that anymore, which is good.
Yeah,
Because
no, it's becoming a lot more internet based.
yeah, it's more so judging your portfolio than your grades and qualifications.
True.
But
Very true.
I
Alright.
mean, it really comes down to the person, what they prefer to do.
Agreed. Alright. Next is going to be if you could collaborate with one designer, who would it be?
Uh, that you probably have to be pressure.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
He's he's just above the game. He's
That's
insane.
true.
He is crazy. That the collab he did for the Sword Champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite nice. He's
That is.
yeah, he's crazy.
Alright, next. What are your hobbies besides design?
Hobbies besides design. They, I mean, it's pretty just video games to be honest. Play a lot of video games.
What games
Not
do you play?
design and illustration. I've played a lot of indie games to be honest. So I've played recently. I'm into games like Prison Architect, RimWorld. They're RimWorld's like a colony builder. And then I'm also into games like No Man's Sky, open world games like that, Fallout.
The Fortnite?
Nah, no Fortnite. I've had my fair share from like season 1 to 3, and that was enough for me.
I have enough holes in my wall. Alright, next. What are your plans for the future of your design career?
just gotta, I just want to keep on trying to improve my work, trying to perfect it as much as possible, and either, I mean, I would love to be able to start my. Well, I've had a clothing. I restart my clothing line, produce a part for that, and just produce clothing. Really, that's my end
Yeah.
goal.
Alright. Fair enough. Just keep working.
Hmm.
All right. And lastly, just tell the listeners, the viewers of the podcast, where they can find you on any social medias.
Twitter is the big one really. Just Beast God, double D on Twitter, and then Beast God Odd on Behance, and Instagram is the same as my Twitter, I think.
There you go.
Feel free to DM me. I reply to everyone. I don't mind.
All right. So now jumping into the topics, we have a few. We have 5 different topics that were tweeted at us to do for this episode. So
Hmm.
just hopping right into them. The first one comes from Adam, and it's creative block. How to deal with it.
Creative block. I have quite a precise way of dealing with creative block that works most of the time. And when I have a creative block, I search for quotes, and then if I find a quote I like, I produce work to fit the quote, and then that gets me out of a creative block pretty much every time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good idea too. And for me anyway, it's just listening to music, trying to get through it. And, if you really can't get through it, just taking a little bit of a break, and just pacing yourself away from what you're doing a little bit just to relax and, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, it's always sometimes you don't want to burn out. A break is definitely necessary.
yeah, no. But they're definitely, creative blocks should really only last like a day or two. And you should be able to get through them so it won't set you back too much.
Hmm.
All right, next is coming in from Francis, and she asks, or he asks, whichever, your journey thus far. Like, what have you done?
Just far I've started my own clothing line probably like over a year ago now. I did that. Um, it went quite well. I just haven't had the time to restart it. And then I've worked with lots of different people, some like kind of smaller YouTubers, um, then some teams like Dev, and then I'll work for them. And that's about it really up to now.
Don't forget your
Just
Fanatic offer, too.
Fanatic offer, yeah. Got an offer
That's a
from
huge one.
Fanatic.
As for me, just running a graphic design business, really just trying to build my brand personally. I'm kind of like opposite from Reese. I tend to stay freelance and not really get myself involved in teams and whatnot. But really, other than that, just starting a clothing brand and obviously now founding this podcast. So that's
Hmm.
about it.
Doing good stuff.
Next is going to come from, I don't know how to say his name. I'm not going to butcher it. So the question is pricing. And I think pricing is a really like tricky subject because so many designers price in different ways, whether it's hourly, by project, fixed rates, whatever you're doing. I
Hmm.
think it really comes down to what you're designing in a sense because I'm not going to price a header design the same way I price a logo design. So, header designs, things along that nature, I would price either, I would honestly say fixed pricing for that, and you can also just charge by project for everything, meaning the client comes to you, gives you the brief, and after hearing all the information, understanding what you have to get done and what you need to do for that project, what you should comfortably charge them. And it's also a tricky thing because I know a lot of designers in the like gaming community in a sense. Uh, they find bad clients because it's all younger kids that don't have jobs. So obviously they're gonna have lower budgets and shoot you down. But I think all these designers, if you are like trying to make a living out of this, is look outside of the gaming industry because it's really
Yeah,
hard to
definitely.
make a lot of money in the gaming industry, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%.
You have anything to add?
Um, the way I do my pricing, I don't. I have a fixed like the lowest price I'll go to, and then I won't do work anything under that because it's just not worth my time.
Yeah.
But usually it's per client. Like see what the client wants, see how much how much work I think it's going to be, how difficult it's going to be, how many hours, um, and then I pretty much add it all together, and then that calculates to my price and how much I think was worth charging for that like specific piece. And I also do it if someone wants like 3 illustrations, I'll I'll discount it the more they want. Well, it will get cheaper per one, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I agree with that.
Also gives clients more incentive to order more then,
Yeah,
which is great.
definitely. Plus, you're not working for a lower rate than you should be.
Hmm.
All
That's how I
right.
work with myself.
Next is going to be free alternatives to Photoshop and how bad or good they are. You can go first on this one.
The alternatives, I've honestly, I'm not too sure on any alternatives. I've always just used Photoshop. As when I was younger, just like everyone starting, they just cracked Photoshop. I don't recommend it, but it's what all kids do. I mean, if you're 13, you don't really have the money to throw at Photoshop, you know.
No,
You don't have
absolutely.
a job. But then, I mean, now I'm earning money. I pay for it.
Exactly. I think I had like the same kind of situation as you. I never really had to use other programs except for Photoshop. But
Hmm.
I mean, if you're already making money off of design, then you can definitely like just pay for Photoshop that way. Or I don't know. There's ways around it, I guess. But you can also just
Yeah, but
hire designers if you're not looking to have a bunch done. Next, your thoughts on niching down, so like focusing on one specific area in design.
I've I've kind of I've kind of niched down on clothing. I don't really like doing social media work. The only time I'll do social media work is if I'm paid quite a lot for it.
Yeah,
So I've niched down on clothing. I enjoy it more. Which I mean, design. Everyone who does design, they do it because they enjoy it. It's a it's a great community because everyone loves what they do. So I've just niched down further on the exact topic which I love, which is clothes fashion.
there you
So if you know exactly what you like and exactly what you want to do, you can niche down. But if you're a bit more broad in what you do, you can often lead to more money.
go.
So
No,
it really depends on what you feel like you want to do.
exactly. No, I completely agree. And like, I think it just, like you said, comes with finding what you enjoy the most and doing that. Um, I don't think like you should or shouldn't niche down. Like it really depends on what you want to do.
Hmm.
If you're in design, like I hope you're not doing it specifically for the money. Although it's a nice add-on, you should enjoy it too. So if you do enjoy it, you probably enjoy something like more specifically in design.
Yeah,
All
but the
right.
big one is social media work. Most people on Twitter, they love doing social media work.
Yeah.
So they've niched down on that, and most of them will then evolve to doing something out of out of the esports, out of the gaming community, and they'll probably go into like a lot of people go into web development, like advertisement, 3D products, product rendering, and
Exactly. Right.
you just gotta find what you love.
Agreed. There's no other way around it. Just gotta keep
Yeah,
practicing and trying all new things.
exactly.
Alright, and that's gonna end the five of our topics, man. So if you have anything else you'd like to say to the podcast, anything else you'd like to tell anyone, go ahead.
I don't know. If anyone in chat has any questions, feel free to throw them at me. Um, I don't know. The only real thing I have to say is, I get a lot of people DMing me, asking for tips on this or that, asking how do I do this, and they're always they're not very forthcoming. They're always a bit worried that I'm annoyed at them. That I don't think they should DM me. I'm not like that. A lot of people get a bit annoyed for you DMing them for questions. But if you have a question, feel free to DM me and I'll answer whenever I can.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of designers in the community really, especially in the gaming community that are helpful. But I don't think a lot of people realize like most of them, a good amount of us are like we're definitely willing to help because we were in your position as well when we were starting.
Yeah,
All right. Well, if no one
absolutely.
has any
Thanks
more
for having me.
questions, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. I really appreciate you coming on here and letting
Thank
me
you for having me.
interview you, ask a few questions, bring up some topics.
It was great.
Well, thank you, and I
Thank
hope to
you
have
very
you
much.
on in the future again.
Okay, would love to join. Be great.
All right. And thank you guys, all you viewers. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed. If there's anything we missed, be sure to drop it in the comments below, and we'll cover it in the next podcast. And if you guys have any specific designers that you'd like to see on the podcast as well, just drop them in the comment section below, and we'll be sure to try to get them on here. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we hope you have a great day and keep creating. All right, peace.